Greetings and welcome back to Switched to Linux. Well, today we are going to do a little bit of discussion on banning online forums, but before we do, I think Vince just jumped on. How's it going there, Vince? Not too bad. Okay, now you're unmuted.
I see Kitty.
There we are. All right, greetings. How's it going there? I see it's getting cold down under.
Yeah, we just had a bit of a cold spell.
Uh-oh. Looks like my system here. Let me jump on over to web browser view, and I'm actually getting... Say something again.
Hang on a second. This is weird. Are you live?
I should be live. Am I not live?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see now. Yep.
Okay. I was just double checking if there's lag on the chat. All right.
All right, so you've already started. Okay.
It's just a minute ago. I started just before you come in. I was actually late because, of course, we're talking about this as online banning online forums effective, and I actually just like 5 minutes ago found a research article from November 2007 from University of Michigan. And I was reading through that to see, and I'm telling you what, there are some people that we just need to pull some degrees and send them all back to school and teach them how to do research again. Because I'm telling you what, I was like, really? You guys published a paper with that thesis? And then, of course, The Verge picks up on it. And as, you know, journalists know nothing about science. And then they give us
there's a lot of...
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about how research is being watered down, being dumbed down a lot now.
It is. It is.
And
so
all these
dumbed down.
paid for publications that you can actually just pay to get something published.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. There's a few problems that I see. One of those is interfacing science and the public. One of those is the journals themselves. So yeah, there is a huge problem with a lot of scientific journals. They're just pay to play. You pay some of your research grant money to them, and they make a lot of money publishing the articles.
And
That's
then the trouble is somebody will find it online and just use that as the basis of a stupid argument.
Yep. Yeah. And they're not officially peer-reviewed articles, so our science gets polluted. And then, of course, you get your contributions. So there's some things that are in peer-reviewed journals that have some conflicts of interest that are not addressed. So this happened in the statin drugs. So there's like 8 doctors that were involved in pushing the statin drugs out, and 7 of them had undisclosed conflicts of interest. And it caused a lot of weirdness in the science. And here in the States, they said, well, you know what, over 200, we got to give you some statins to lower your cholesterol. Guess how they arrived at 200? Because that's what the average American cholesterol level is once you cross like 50. So it's like everyone over 50 is going to be on statins. And it's the #1 drug right behind Viagra.
Yeah.
And if you're taking one, you generally have to take the other.
Then there's a reliance on the reader to actually be somewhat educated in how to interpret a study in a journal article, and that's, I mean, I don't know. Like I did some of the statistics and analysis in uni, and it took us a whole semester just for me to just get my head around statistics. Yeah. It's just crazy.
Well, and this is the problem, that the average person who doesn't have a science background cannot read and interpret a scientific article. And where I think we need the most push for education teaching scientific articles is the tech journal or the science journalists. The people who are trying to write an article for the general public, because overwhelmingly 9 out of 10 of them completely misunderstand the article because they don't have the training to do it either. You go through a 4-year bachelor's degree and you still don't have any idea how to actually understand a journal article. And that's the thing that we have to understand, that science is not, science is just proven. Well, first and foremost, science never proves anything. Science proves, science doesn't prove anything. We demonstrate certain things under certain circumstances. That's what science does. But greetings, everybody. Thanks for coming in on our conversation. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, Ricardo says, what are we talking about? I was just about to reply. Just a random random thing.
Randomness. Well, it's going to come into play. We jumped on late because I found a research article that was directly related to the topic we want to talk about here today. And so I wanted to flip through the rest of it. I didn't read it verbatim, of course. I just kind of scanned through it and see what their methods and materials and things. It was the biggest piece of garbage I think I've read in a while. In fact, when they found the endogenous ligand for the aryl hydrocarbon receptor, that article was better, and it was not right. Like, what happens when you take a bunch of cells, mash them together with high concentrations of sulfuric acid? Well, sulfuric acid, if you've ever taken organic chemistry, is called a catalyst. It makes stuff, okay? So, but anyway, for you guys on Geek Talk, you are on the right channel. This is Switch to Linux, and we are going to be talking about banning in online forums in light of all of this stuff coming out in regards to the tragedies that happened this last couple of weeks, I guess, here in the States. But anyway, C. Morris is on. Greetings. Play it next. How's it going there? A European copyright thingy wants to ban open source. I wasn't sure if it was attached to the copyright directive, but there was a EU law that they wanted to prevent a person from running open source software on their own hardware. I don't remember all the details about it, but it was interesting.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was like if it didn't have full-fledged safety studies, you couldn't use it, which would pretty much boil it down to about everything. Anything that could send or receive signals. So, cell phones, laptops, if there's an integrated wireless card. You could run an open source software on a computer if it didn't have a wireless card. It basically is what it was boiled down to. No router software, things like that. Love the channel. I have a Windows 10, Android x86, Ubuntu, Mate, Kale, Neon, Farron OS running on main hard drive. Awesome. Very cool. How can you ban open source? Well, they'll come for you. You're running Linux. Let's go to take you off to jail, young man. Yeah. So who's going to get there first, do you think, Vince? Our country or your country? What do you think?
The way we're going, ours for sure. I mean, look what we've done to encryption.
This is true. Well, they're trying to push that through the rest of the Five Eyes now. All they needed is one. Yeah. Now they're trying to push that through the rest of the Five Eyes. Yeah. So, get the popcorn. It's conspiracy night. No, I need my hat. Where's my hat? All right, let's see. Okay. What's happening? Yeah, Okay, where's the kitty? Yeah, Kitty's chilling out on the steps. He's I actually call him Claymore when he's on the steps because I got this Claymore waiting on the steps for me. So, hello Anna Rita, Paul, Mel Gibson, Sky Bear, Syllable Boy, Goko. How's it going there, everybody? Vince, do you like wombats? Somebody wants to know.
Yeah, they're cute. They're pretty cute, but I have a feeling they're quite angry creatures.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a name of wombat, I might be mad too. All right. Online forums being banned. We will talk about that. Ban anything else or just 8chan? I think this is just kind of where I want to go to because the latest couple, I don't know if you got a chance to look at the article yet, and I added like 5 to it, but in the last, I'd say, handful of these mass tragedies, people have been trying to ban certain things, but I'm noticing an interesting trend. It's not just banning all of the platforms. Like the guy in Texas, yeah, he had a crazy post on 8chan. And the reality is the fact he was on 8chan led to finding him a lot faster. If 8chan wasn't there and he just uploaded it to someplace on the dark web, a few weeks later, someone would have found it, but
it doesn't change what he's done.
Correct. It doesn't change what he's done. But nobody's talking about the Dayton guy who, by the way, the Texas guy was complete right-wing lunatic, okay? Nobody's talking about the politics of the Dayton guy who was a left-wing lunatic, okay? We got lunatics on either side of us, Walk, be a centrist, and you're okay, But the thing is that guy was highly active on Twitter. Everyone's talking about, well, let's ban 8chan. Nobody's talking about let's ban Twitter. I think we should ban Twitter. Hashtag ban Twitter. By the way, I'm still locked out of that Twitter account. I'm thinking of one of a few options. Option A is we're going to send them a legal notice on company letterhead and cease and desist having the account open. Or B, I will just go onto some seedy place on the internet, spoof myself a phone number, get into the account, and delete it.
But that's the thing, that it's, as a privately held company, do you have a right to have an account? You don't, right?
But here's the problem, and I know you might have missed out on some of this discussion. I have opened 7 support tickets, like either unlock the account or delete the account. I have not heard a single thing back from anybody at that incompetent nest of morons. So I'm thinking. I don't know. The less abrasive way and probably the better way to handle it is probably just getting onto some seedy place on the internet with Tor and creating a fake account and attaching a stupid phone number to it and verifying the number and doing an email address and creating a secondary email address and creating a Google Voice account, verifying a number to delete the account. That's what I'll probably end up doing. Although I could just do the more fun approach and send them a certified letter on company letterhead and say, hey, this is your official cease and desist. You have 30 days or I'm going to take you to court. Depends on how I'm feeling, I guess, in about a week or two when I make a decision on this, you know. But anyway. All right. So, lunatics are lunatics. How about we get rid of lunatics? The problem is, how do you define a lunatic? How do you define a lunatic, Vince?
I'm pretty lunatic.
Yeah. I mean, we all are, aren't we? I mean, come on. I run around with a fire screen and wear a tinfoil hat. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that beats a lot of people.
I mean, come on, man. In fact, this is funny. I talked on my other channel a little about this lunatic Jonathan / Jessica Yaniv, right? Well, that creature went on a live chat with a true transgender person. They had a live debate, and the person decided to show, hey, look, here's my taser. Now, I could reach back here and pull out a gun and show you a gun because a gun is legal in my country, you know? A taser's not legal in Canada where the creature lives. And so about 3 minutes after the live stream, it was the police come and haul her off to jail. Good.
Oh, the stupidity.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I mean, come on. Guys, if firearms are illegal in your country, don't be displaying your firearms, okay? Now, they're legal in my country, and I even have a permit to carry it when I leave the house. So, you know, I could do that. But, late for Tom on Fire. Well, I don't know, DistroTube, we haven't really gotten started yet. But greetings, DistroTube. How's it going there? Does Vince have a YouTube channel? I don't think you do you?
No, I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a video or two, but I don't have the time, frankly. I've got kids, work.
Yeah, I hear that. El Paso's father, Brian, is a therapist and had a channel and all socials deleted an hour after the event. Interesting. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and dive on into the article here. So let me go to the actual article we want to start on, not the amazing best journal article ever. All right. So, of course, once again, guys, I'm not curating a ton of stuff in the news. So, unfortunately, I have 2 Verge articles here. Then I branched out to grab some other points of view. So this one here, this title itself just irritates me. Why banning hate sites is so hard. Okay. Number 1, legal definition in the United States, there's no such thing as hate speech. Now, European Union has a clause that basically says anything directed at any organization, any specific group, which basically means anything you say that has any subtext at all to an exclusive group of any way, shape, or form is technically hate speech. So, like, hey, I enjoy going to the China buffet because everyone that's working there is Chinese. That's hate speech, according to the European Union.
I'm pretty sure over here you're allowed to have views, but as long as it doesn't incite violence, no one can do anything about it.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way here, as long as you're not inciting violence. So the question is, what violence is being incited? I understand completely the manifesto, which was taken down as soon as they knew about it. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But this is about big tech going after their competitors. All right. So why banning hate sites is so hard? All right. So let's give them this and be like, all right, we'll allow you to continue talking about banning hate sites. And somebody alert me in the comments if my thing stopped working, because I can't see my preview window right now. All right. So they're basically talking about this. Of course, everything, this is on the 6th. Everything is here is about that El Paso guy. Nobody's talking about the Dayton guy who was using Twitter. Same thing. Talking about punching Nazis, and which is an actual call to violence. Okay? You can be a Nazi as long as you're not being violent with being a Nazi. But as soon as I say, let's go up and punch Nazis, now you're saying this is an incitement to violence. And then when the same group of people starts calling people Nazis who are not Nazis, de facto you're saying, go punch this guy because he's a Nazi, and it's okay to punch Nazis. Well, all that's going on Twitter. Nobody's making a big deal about Twitter. Let's hashtag ban Twitter. Let's deplatform Twitter.
I think there's a big difference, though, in that, because the way that I understand 8chan is that it's just a massive free-for-all.
Correct.
Anybody can post anything. That's how it was founded, because it was in response to, was it 4chan not allowing certain people to say certain things?
Now the Chan software it's open source software. I believe it's open source software. There's hundreds of these Chan sites all over the internet. It's just
true.
It's like PHP BB. You just download, deploy it, and go.
But this was one of the biggest that allowed people to post anything. Whereas, I mean, like it or not, Twitter does have some moderation. I mean, it has sometimes wacky moderation, like not allowing yourself on, but it has some moderation. I think would that be a difference that Cloudflare is seeing here?
Well, no, because 8chan does have moderation. That post was taken down by 8chan shortly after it was posted. Because they have rules. It's like Gab. It's like Gab.ai, or it's Gab.com now. It's like Gab. Gab is not this Nazi place where everyone posts their hate. They have a simple policy. If what you wrote does not violate a law in this nation state, it stays. Which is exactly what we should have. Okay? So that is the problem, is, what 8chan recognized that had violated some laws, and they took it down. And that's what we're talking about. So everyone wants to come up and talk about banning it. So, of course, Cloudflare is another issue with me. I don't know. Anything else you want to add to that, I guess, before we ship over to Cloudflare?
No, I'm still digesting the whole situation.
All right. So anyway, just right this afternoon, right before going live here, I guess it was earlier today, 6 a.m. I missed it earlier. Why deplatforming 8chan can be effective. So this is the sensationalist Verge article, completely not understanding anything about scientific literature, trying to quote a literature. It says, why deplatforming can be effective. Evidence shows that banning hate sites reduces their reach. All right. So they're talking here about, we want to ban 8chan, and even if they'll come back and all this kind of stuff. So everything that they're actually pulling from is their defense of this comes from this link here. I think it's this link. One of these links here. So, of course, this is going back to the Alex Jones stuff, these other things. And so this article came out, not that article, this article came out. So this is posted, this is from Georgia Tech, so this is an actual peer-reviewed, I think it's peer-reviewed. If it is peer-reviewed, whoever peer-reviewed it, this must be went to one of them pay-to-play journals, I'm telling you, because this is the biggest piece of crap I think I've ever seen. ACM Human Comp Interactive, I have no idea what that journal is. But anyway, what they wanted to do is they're looking at the 2015 Reddit ban. And they wanted to examine ban examined through hate speech. So all Emroy, I'm not sure, where's Emroy at? I don't remember where Emroy is, but everything else, Georgia Institute of Technology, University of Michigan, of course, are United States. Emroy University, remember where that one is? Is that U.S.? Anyway.
Don't ask me. No idea.
Okay, all right. I was seeing if you happen to know. Anyway, so what they did is they want, of course, back in 2015, Reddit banned groups and some people associated with our Fat People Hate and our Coontown. Okay, so they wanted to ban these, and then the entire research here is let's see what happens to hate speech on this platform by watching the banned people. Do you have a prediction of what happened, Vince?
No, go ahead.
How about it went down because they're watching the people who were banned? Wow, this is a miracle. All right, so they're talking about just following things. So they looked at individual users, and then they looked at the comments on different related threads. And what they found is, of course, they tried to define their hate speech stuff, basically saying there's not. So here's your posts. This is the ban date, August 1st, ban date, June 10th. The number of posts are 300,000 on the one. There were 1.2 million on the other. And then what they end up doing is they, this cross-posting. Okay, so here is, so CT and FPH. So they have control and treatment. And of course, you can see that as soon as Reddit banned several users and banned 2 forums, the bad stuff on the site went down. They're like, wow, banning actually works. They actually make a statement in here, and I'm not going to be able to find it, but they actually make the most ridiculously stupid argument I've ever heard in my life. Are you ready for this argument? They said, this stopped hate speech on the internet because these people had nowhere else to go. These are computer people? No, they're just not on Reddit anymore. They left Reddit and went to the darknet.
I'm just looking at the language in that article. I'm distracted by the language in the article.
Which one, The Verge or the journal article here?
The journal article.
Here is, I'm just going to send that to you on Hangouts there. So you can grab a copy if you want to flip through it yourself. So, of course, this is when they banned it. Whoa, look at this. The number of posts went down. Wow, banning works! And they're just like, these people had nowhere else to go. They had nowhere else to spread hate, so they just stopped spreading their hate. No, they just went to a lot of other places. Spreading it on blog posts, going on to Tor, finding random forums. I mean, do you know how many forums are actually on Onion sites? Yeah, most of Onion sites are some type of forums where we'll talk about this all the place. But here's my basic argument: is it's better to not ban these sites because with these available, number one, if this is so hurts your psyche, don't go on the site. Okay, we got radio knobs. We got TV buttons on our remote. We have a close button. We can find another video, There's other stuff we can do. We don't have to watch it. But being as it stays out in the open, it allows concerned people to keep a better eye on it. So it's better to not try to ban and block these things. And that's the argument I'm thinking. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. I was kind of toying with the idea of how much responsibility does need to be taken to still allow people to have free speech, because it's my personal belief that any freedom comes with some certain amount of responsibility. Mm-hmm. But who's going to take up that responsibility? Ultimately, it should be the responsibility of the poster, whoever's posting something, an article or a comment, thinking about who's going to read this, what kind of effect it's going to have on somebody. Yeah. And if you think it's going to have a negative effect and that's something you care about, then you probably shouldn't post it.
And of course, we do have
it's a public forum. Yeah, and it's a public forum. I mean, that's like it goes back to that person who you said was streaming and pulled out a taser. Did they not realize that the internet is a public forum?
Yeah.
If you want to have, I don't know, views that are a little bit extremist, keep it amongst your circle.
Yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with that. The problem that I start to have is when it starts looking as though the big established tech sites are trying to use anything that they disagree with to kill their competitors. You know, they told all these guys, you know, when the Patreon debacle came down, right? They're like, hey, you don't like our rules, get off the platform. So a bunch of them left and created their own, or actually a lot of them jumped over to Subscribestar. When the people that did not like what they had to say saw them going over to Subscribestar, then they decided to go to try and attack Subscribestar, and they knocked them offline for a while. It's like, hey, we're not on your platform anymore. Leave us alone. That is why the problem is, and the reason we have to get into this is because this group of people, they will not stop until everything they simply disagree with is illegal or banned or silenced. And that is where the problem is. And we have to take the stand now. It's going to be too late later. That's my thought. What do you think?
But then, I mean, the flip side of my argument is that no matter where you go, there are always going to be stupid people.
Correct.
And you can only legislate so far for stupidity. So, you know, perhaps somebody has to take up a little bit of a stand. I don't know. That would be the counter argument.
Well, I'm okay with a little bit of a stand, but the question becomes: what is the limits? What is the boundary of that stand? Because it is becoming everything you disagree with is hate, and that's not appropriate. Can we not have disagreements in society?
No, we can definitely have disagreements. It's not appropriate to ban something just because you disagree.
Correct. Now, I completely am totally on the side of, hey, let's go get our items that look kind of like this, and go and open a popcorn bag into a crowd. I mean, yeah, I completely get it. Hey, find the person, arrest the person, take that content offline, and keep it out of the news so that we don't have sensationalism of potential crimes. I'm completely okay with that because that is crossing that boundary into inciting actual violence. We cannot have inciting actual violence. We can't have that. That is bad. But I look at some of these other sites. I am not seeing any inciting violence. Sure, there might be one or two odd posts there because I'm not hunting for it. But I casually jump over there on Gab. I find it not the place I necessarily want to read comments and lot, but I don't see any inciting violence.
Do you think this comes down to people just not having that intestinal fortitude to actually go and think about something that makes them feel uncomfortable? If somebody says something that makes them feel, I mean,
that's exactly
are we becoming a society where if something is made for us to feel uncomfortable and we don't know how to turn it off, that we go and yell back and become hateful ourselves to whoever's making us feel uncomfortable, rather than actually embracing the opposing view and perhaps even learning one or two things from it. I'm not talking about the racism. I'm talking about just in general. I see people who fire back just on an impulse because somebody said something to them that makes them feel uncomfortable. Whereas, I mean, you and I we're talking as mature, intelligent people. I'm not sure about you, but myself, I would love for someone to actually tell me I'm wrong or tell me they disagree with me because I learned something from that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the world where you're describing, I don't know if you got a chance to look at some of the Socialist Democratic Party. I think they had a big meeting here in the States. They had a big meeting last week, and it started going on live streaming, and then after it got memed so much, they took it off the live stream, and then they pulled the videos down. If you want to, holy, I watched some of that. It's just like, these are people that, the fact that like, the fact that any of those people could potentially be running this country is enough to go and make me vote Republican or something. Or I'll vote Democrat if I don't have to. I don't know. I don't like either of those parties. But these guys, it took like 4 hours to vote on the rules. Because it's like, I have a point of personal interest. Or no, what is it? A point of personal... Wait. I can't even remember the word. It was like... it was so bad. It's like, excuse me, there's too much whispering in here. We need to quiet down because I'm getting triggered. There's too much whispering going on. And then as soon as he did that, this other guy, he runs up. Can we please refrain from using gender-specific pronouns?
That's funny because, I mean, I don't know. Do they live stream congressional debates in your country? Like, can you hop on TV and watch it? Because
I believe you can.
Because yes. They do that here. They have something called Question Time in Parliament here, and like the debate that occurs. Sometimes I sometimes watch it and I cringe because the amount of profanity that occurs inside our national parliament, the amount of yelling and screaming and name calling that occurs would make a school playground. We put a school playground to shame. And so if these people think that they can go into Congress and survive with that sort of thin skin, it makes me laugh as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Adzaji just gave me, it was privilege. I have a point of personal privilege. And, and by the way, every person who goes up to the microphone has to announce, my name's Tom, I'm from Pennsylvania, and I use he, him pronouns. Everybody, they have to go up to the microphone and announce who they are, where they're from, and their preference of pronouns before they can talk about their personal point of privilege.
I mean, let's be clear here. We're not hating on people who are homosexual or transgender, because I've got personal homosexual friends. Yeah. But it's the attitude of
it's
well, I don't know what personal privilege even means.
Yeah. Well, it's when I have to bend my reality to what's in your head. There's where I start having some of the problems. I don't care if you're homosexual or transgender or whatever else. It doesn't bother me. Like, it's none of my business. But the point it becomes my business is when you're trying to mold society around the subjective thoughts in your head that are constantly changing. Now we have embraced lunacy in society, and that is a problem.
Oh yes, and the vocal minority. Don't get me started about that.
Let's jump back on topic slightly.
Yeah.
Of course, this is kind of all on topic because if you're not embracing these, like literally on Twitter right now, if you use inappropriate pronouns directed towards somebody, that is considered hate speech on Twitter. You will get banned for that. So we are kind of still on topic. But anyway, this is from Reason.com. A World Without Reason. Reason.com talks about deplatforming is a dangerous game. And what I liked about this article here is it kind of went through and they're writing their entire argument from, of course, the slippery slope perspective. So it's one thing to say, and this is what a lot of people are saying. When Alex Jones was the first person to be deplatformed, everyone's like, this is the slippery slope. I mean, you love the guy, hate the guy. I think he's a lunatic, but hey, I can understand why some people would watch him. I'm going to assume that 50 or more % of his audience watches him just because he's such a lunatic. I mean, and I'm okay, and I'm perfectly okay with him having his own program or whatever else. Hey, man, I want to laugh every now and again, too. I mean, I love watching the rant about the gay frogs, whatever. No big deal. But people were worried about the slippery slope. Well, this is taking the slippery slope because at what point in time does it stop? Because according to this, I'm a Christian, and my Bible says very specific things about the conduct of a person who uses the name of Christ for their life. And when that had occurred, you realize that that is called hate speech in many people's views. So now I have to set aside my constitutionally protected rights of freedom of religion and religious expression because that offends you. Maybe we should just either agree to disagree or have some degree of public discussion about it. You know? I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, let me give you another analogy. Say you're at a party, you're at a social gathering, and there's a group of people discussing something that you might personally interpret as being hateful, right? Mm-hmm. Would you just stand there and keep listening to it? Or would you simply just maybe walk away and ignore the fact that they're there? Or would you make a fuss and call security to kick them out?
Yeah.
At a simple house party.
Yeah, I guess then there's four, Ant. The fourth one, of course, you could get in there and start discussing it with them too. You know, you could interject your points of view.
That's if they will actually not get offended themselves by your point of view.
Correct. Of course, if they get offended by your point of view, at that point, I'm just like, okay, you know what? We'll agree to disagree. Like I have a neighbor who's this really sweet old 80-year-old woman or whatever, and she just, we are complete opposites on politics and things like that. And you know, we can at least have a conversation and disagree. You know,
that's the point. You can actually agree to disagree, but still respect each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is, yeah, and you bring up this amazing point. You're at the party. Do you call security to kick them out? Do you ignore them? Do you engage with them? Or you know, and do you stay by, listen, and start seething inside, or you just choose to go to the other half of the house, you know? I'm the guy, I'll attempt to at least interject a little bit. That's what I do. If it seriously bothers them, then I'll go to the other half of the house. What do you do?
9 times out of 10, if someone's expressing a personal view, it's very difficult to change unless you have a very convincing argument. But it's how you put that argument to them.
Mm-hmm. And it's also how you grow.
Correct.
Like just prior to this, I completely disagree with the entire transgender concept, but I was watching a transgender person live stream today. Just because I want to know what their points of view are. You know, I want to listen to what they have to say. I want to see if there's something they can glean.
And I bet to some degree that made you feel very uncomfortable with your beliefs, but you were willing to actually sit down and listen to what they had to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I wouldn't have jumped onto our live stream and been like, "You're stupid. You're really this person." You know, I wouldn't do that, something like that. And unfortunately, some people would. Is that necessarily hate speech? I don't think so. Unless you're saying everyone needs to go and club this person. Don't do that. That would be bad. But to disagree, that's kind of rude. And that's why you'd have moderators. Check them off, you know. That's okay, too. I'm not okay with that. Yeah.
No, disagreeing is not being rude. Disagreeing is not.
Yeah, you can disagree rudely and you can disagree politely. I think.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because I might have gone onto the stream and be like, you know, I disagree with your point of view and here's why. What do you think? That is a completely different thing. Going, you're burning in hell. You're really there's two completely different ways to approach a disagreement, and you attract a lot more flies with honey. You know, when you're nicer, you can at least carry up the conversation better. If you're always just running in and telling them how stupid they are and they're going to hell, that's wrong, and that's why that's not a good approach.
I mean, one thing we've got to discuss on here also is how do you deal with a very stupid's not a good word, but an audience that's easily influenced with all this discussion. How do we deal with that?
Like a young audience, and this is why I think parents should keep their kids away from YouTube for a while. You know,
and this is where I think someone who's saying something on the internet actually has a responsibility with what they say.
Not everyone recognizes that though, and which is to me why I think parental intervention must be a thing. You know, because you can't trust that everybody is going to recognize that. Oh, there's kids. I mean, I do. I'm a rational human, though, and not everybody on the internet is a rational human, you know. In fact, this was fascinating. The other day, I watched, there's a guy, I forget his name now, I'll have to go back and look, but he does documentaries of internet people who've kind of went off the rails. And back in December, he actually did one from the guy who did Temple OS. It was a very fascinating take. That was a case where the guy's actually diagnosed schizophrenic. And so for him, the internet probably made him worse. It would have been way better if I'm like, you know what, you're schizophrenic. You probably need to stay away from the internet. You'll become Tay, and that's not good, you know? But how do you tell a 40-year-old, get off the internet, stay off the internet? You know, that's a hard thing to do. Yeah.
So just to educate me, Temple OS was a religious based distro, was it?
Well, not only that, but he believed that he was God's chosen instrument, God's divine programmer, and built it, and it was the third temple, as prophesied in Scripture, that was the final epitome of God's final coming on earth. That was Temple OS.
Yeah, no doubt the internet increased those delusions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting, but it was fascinating take, but that was the case. So this group here, Quillette, they had a very compelling arguments of why deplatforming will not work. And so we're just going to scroll down there. They have background here, but I'm going to hit down the arguments. Number one, banning people or censoring content can draw attention to the very person or ideas you're trying to suppress. Yep. So as soon as you start getting banned, hey, here comes the ban hammer. Woohoo! Here come the ratings. You know. Secondly, even when banning somebody reduces their audience, it can at the same time strengthen the audience that remains. Yep. You know, everyone, you know, Alex Jones gets banned. He's like the world's most prominent conspiracy theorist. Oh yeah, you better believe that his audience, core audience that thinks that he truly knows what he's talking about, is going to be hardened. They're like, this is what he's been talking about. Here it begins, you know? Yeah. So strengthening, and then thirdly, any kind of censorship can create an aura of conspiracy that makes forbidden ideas attractive. Yes. And of course, I'll note that I think that it can, I'll add a fourth point here they didn't make, going back to my previous point, is that when you ban somebody off of your major players, they simply go underground, and underground things grow a big army fast. You know, I knew somebody that was addicted to certain substances, and when a prohibition had occurred, that didn't stop that person from getting said substances. It made him more creative in how to get them. And that is a problem. So
probably leading to break more laws too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an issue. Mm-hmm. So those are my thoughts. What are your final thoughts? And we'll jump back. We had so many comments, guys. My apologies. I'm not going to be able to hit everybody.
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on in chat.
There is a ton going on in chat. So my apologies. I am not going to be able to get to everybody's comments, but we are going to do the best that we can. And of course, I'll be streaming on my other channel tonight. So let's see. I'm just going to skim through and just pull out the things that I see. Yes, Vince, why do you wear a beanie in Australia?
Because it's darn cold.
Yep, that's right.
For me, anyway.
Yeah,
it's probably sitting around 60 Fahrenheit, so 16 degrees Celsius, but that's cold for me.
Yes. Oh, I don't know. 60 is pretty nice. It's 79 here right now, Fahrenheit. So, all right. We should do firearm stream one day. I could show my. Ooh, let's do it, DT. I'll pull out my ammo press and I'll show people how to make bullets. Let's do it, DT. Let's do it. We'll see if we can get the Linux banned.
It actually makes me feel uncomfortable hearing whenever I hear you guys talking about guns and firearms, because we're so not used to having any guns anywhere.
Maybe you just need more positive exposure, you know? Like, hey, this is
Yeah,
how you have it safely. This is the dangerous end. This is the not dangerous end.
like, oh no, don't do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Canada, you cannot carry anything for the purpose of self-defense. Nope. You can carry bear spray specifically if you're going in the woods for bear protection, but you can't carry it around town. As I learned from reading about the Yaniv situation.
We actually even have, you got to have an age verification ID check to buy a knife that's beyond like a certain size.
Man, I hate living over there. No.
I think it's like 15 centimeters.
Over there or not. Like this one should pretty much be legal anywhere. It's pretty much the rule of thumb. It's bigger than the palm of your hand, then they're good. But I mean, the funny thing is my gun is more legal for me to carry than this. So I actually stopped carrying them for that reason. Go figure. Everybody.
But I would watch that. I would watch that gun stream. I would watch it because it would just be cool for me to see.
Absolutely, yeah. And I only have a couple small handguns. I'm not a huge gun enthusiast. I'm a self protection enthusiast. I got one hidden at each corner of the house. So no matter where you try and break into this house, whichever room you corner me in, you're not leaving. And then I do have a small one that really fits in your pocket without you seeing, and that's the one I carry around town. It's not accurate at all over any range. Like anything over 10 yards, it loses all accuracy. See. Didn't notice issues. Okay. Endeavor OS. I haven't looked at Endeavor OS. Let's ban violent movies and TV shows. They create violence, proven in studies. Yeah. This is another thing about the science articles. Is some people are like, oh, this new studies show. No. You look at the science articles, and they're not doing better experiments. There is a direct correlation between. Now, it's not. They don't create violence. They increase markers of aggression. Again, it goes back to this proving. We can't prove anything. Video games and movies don't make and create violence. They do give ideas. We know that they increase aggressive markers, and it's not first person shooters and things like that. It's all video games. All video games actually increase markers of aggression.
There's an important concept. It's an important concept of having a relationship versus causality.
Yeah.
Something causes something. You can.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, you go. Yep.
I was gonna say, I'm evil and I'm wrong and I'm bad. I know, but I have a friend that comes over and once or twice a week we play Black Ops. We run around and we blow people up and all that, and we don't have any desire to run around and because we have a good relationships. We have good relationships with he has good relationships with family. I don't, but I have good relationships with friends and. There's nothing in me that would cause me to go out and cause any form of violence in the world. And in fact, that's one of the things my neighbor is just like completely anti-gun because, that's just the way she is. And she's like, well, isn't it inconsistent? How could you kill somebody if you're a Christian with a gun? Why would you even carry that? I said, because it is also my imperative as a Christian to protect people. So if I'm carrying a firearm and a mass shooting opens up downtown, I have the ability to stop it. We're not waiting 3 to 5 minutes for the police to get there, and that's the thing. So, but, would I ever run around town, even if I'm mad? No, I wouldn't. The Black Ops doesn't make me want to go kill people. In fact, it's a fun thing that we do, no big deal. Warning into what's happening. I'll have to go watch. I don't think I've ever actually watched all of Demolition Man. I don't think I have. There's this thing I never really liked. Like, if my brother liked it, I generally didn't. So he liked it, so I never watched it. Yeah.
Not a huge fan. But...
Okay.
Have you checked out Idiocracy?
Idiocracy. I don't think so. What is it?
That's a must see. You have to see that.
Is it a
But
movie?
I think it's up your alley. It's a movie,
Okay.
and it's about the future as well.
Idiocracy.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's a bit stupid, but it's a good laugh.
Work retail. People ask me if I'm scared because of crazy people. I pity the fool that tries to attack my workplace. I'm always carrying it. That's right. That's right. If I can get to my car trunk, I'll arm like 15 people.
Was that DT?
Yeah.
I read that.
That's right. I mean, you know what, guys? When I used to live out west, I lived out west in one of them complete, full-fledged states that don't mess with here. We had none of that crime at all. Because you don't know who's carrying. We were all carrying. You didn't have to have a permit. As long as you had a driver's license, lived there for 6 months or more. Strap a gun and let's go. Have fun, And there's this interesting correlation between, you ever notice how the places where there's a lot more firearms, there's a lot less crime? I wonder what that is. Okay, what's the opposite of nothing? Something? Reddit has been SJW's BS platform forever now. Oh, really? Huh. Tarantino visited Moscow. Really? Stops hate speech. Let's let people not express themselves and start stewing their own thoughts till they start and think worse thoughts and validate them by being censored. Yeah. And that's one of the things that unfortunately happens when you do that. Yeah. Okay. More like spreading stupidity. Yo, I read an article the other day. DT, if you're still on, you might like this. I was reading an article the other day, and I forget where it was at, but it was something. Another one of these gun control things. Like, you can go in and get those fully automatic guns. Like, no, you can't. They're like not legal. Like, people completely misunderstand the difference between like a bolt action, a fully automatic, a semi-automatic. And you don't understand, and so you think everything that looks dangerous is just, I don't know. Banning people makes people flock to it. That's right. That's why the more you try and get people to know that the earth is actually round, the more people are going to believe the earth is flat, man. Come on. You just come out and say, yep, y'all are right, the earth is flat. The thing would die. Though it doesn't, fully automatic doesn't make a weapon more deadly. If you're fired into a full auto gun, good luck aiming or hitting anything. That's right. That is right. Yeah, spamming. Well, in Black Ops, like, I'm not particularly good. In fact, my joke is when we're playing Black Ops is if we're playing against guys, if they fire several shots and miss you, we say that they went to Tom's school of aiming because I just can't aim. So I do in Black Ops what's called spray and pray. Just Occasionally I get lucky. Hey man, I can miss in Black Ops 2 with a target finder. Come on, man. Boy. Yes, if the theater is on fire, you are allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater. Yes. As long as nobody stamps the fire out on the way. Live in a world of pansies who get their feelings hurt in their safe places. That's right. Could be wrong, but I don't remember a mass call to shut down Facebook after the idiot in New Zealand stream. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. In fact, I think the Facebook stuff was up there longer than the 8chan stuff was up there.
That's a really good point.
Did a military service a long time ago. I fired maybe 10 to 20k shots at a combat unit a year. Yeah. Can't say anything this day because of the snowflakes. I don't know. Do you think some of these things are staged?
I mean, let me give you another perspective as well. I mean, you look at my handle here in the chat, Sleepy Eyes Vince, and I told Steve's very own this as well. I got that handle because I'm of Chinese background and I got teased in school. But it's how you react to the name calling, and I took it and ran with it because it actually, now looking back on it, it gave me strength to be more resilient. Not that I would condone people name calling, but I took that as a character building exercise or experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're stronger for it.
Yeah, and now that's what everyone knows me as, Sleepy Eyes. But I mean, that's not to say that I used to sleep a lot as well when I was younger. Now I don't get any sleep.
Yeah, here you go. Kids in a job does that to you. Eh?
So
yes.
I'm trying very hard to make sure that we bring up the kids in build inbuilt resilience in them, to make sure that they can stand that sort of thing. And I think that's missing in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Is that Lauren Southern, an attack helicopter? Hey, any online platform that now asks me a gender, I tell it I'm an Apache helicopter. So. Okay. Oh, Mitchell used to be Exorc, but he's transitioning to Wayland. I pity you, man. I pity
you. That's funny. I think we'll all be transitioning soon then.
Yeah. Ban all you like. A person who's already alienated by society and feels no values contributes to it more. Yeah, and if they have an online forum, they have some degree of an out. I would say that would be a better thing than nothing, especially if people can monitor that out, and say, hey, we got to figure out who this guy is because he's talking some weirdness, Oh, did I lose your Vince? Oh, no, you're still there. All right. Okay. Track more with honey. Yep. All right. That's my sister. You're going to burn in hell if you don't believe like I do. That's right. Ball is a better word. Yep. I think parents should keep their kids off the internet and in a jersey playing sports. So what do you think? Do you keep your kids off the internet, or do you? I
actually want to start exposing them soon, so that I can teach them that this is right and this is wrong and this is what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I was just actually typing a response to something that Telchrist the Warlock just wrote. About, where was it? Where did he say it? The problem is the internet is an outlet for those who get bullied. The outlet was removed with social media connecting to your life. But there's also something called an off switch and a log off button, and removing yourself away from that situation. And that's kind of what I would like to teach the children, is that if they find themselves in that sort of situation, you can remove yourself from that.
Mm-hmm.
Make your stand if you feel you can, but if you don't feel you can make a stand, remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, and you know, and that's the, I think that's where we're at right now. We're in this world where we can't. We don't have that fortitude anymore to just stop and disconnect and walk away, you know?
And that's actually why I like sometimes watching your outdoor philosophy streams, because you give that example that you're going for a walk, and I think people don't realize the power of just simply going for a walk is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, of course, I was like, I gotta say, I was triggered this week. Like, I don't know. We have like our county is like, I don't know. There's 3 major parks that I would visit often in town. So if I'm doing one of my outdoor philosophies, it's usually in one of those 3, just because of convenience, location, size, things like that. All 3 of them, they were redoing the parking lots this week, the same day. Like, really? So, fortunately, the one of them does have parking on the street, and it's right next to a residential neighborhood, so there's parking on the street. But the other one's like, I went back there, I was going to eat I'm being good, I'm not going out to the donut shop, I'm buying my own bagels. I toast up a bagel, put some little cream cheese in a dish, take it out there, bring my little laptop, I'm going to write some books down, you know, do some typing on my books, eat my bagel without spending the extra money, and the first park I go to, the parking lot's closed. There's nowhere to park. Like, really? So I'm like, all right, we'll go to a mile down the other one. That one's, what? Go to the last one. If this one's closed, what are you doing? But at least that one, they have street parking.
There's a conspiracy.
So. It's a conspiracy. So, you know, I parked on the side of the road, and I left my car there, and I walked up to the pavilion, and I had my bagel and my computer and stuff like that, you know. So, you know. But, yeah, the walking is definitely a good thing, and any exercise too, you know. This is a great live stream. All right, well, thank you. This is actually one of the more attended ones we've had for this format, which is kind of cool. How do people in the UK chase criminals with no service weapon? I never understood that. Anyone from the UK can explain that to us? Do your police have service weapons?
It's probably because the criminals often don't have a gun either.
Yeah, but they have a huge knife problem over there.
Yeah, it's similar here. I mean, but we have our police carry, but they should also be carrying tasers too, because police shootings are very, very bad here. Like, as in, like, they're viewed as very, very bad.
Mm-hmm. I think Second Amendment is in danger. Go to North Korea. Yeah. Yeah, don't mess with me. Hey, this knife's actually fairly... Well, at least it's dull on blade. I have another one of these that's like twice as heavy, and it is completely razor sharp. I opened it the wrong way once. One hand split all my knuckles completely open. It was kind of exciting. Like, whoa, that's a sharp knife. That's the one to use if someone's breaking in.
I've got to say, wow, you're really behind in comments.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I has a gun? Of course I has a gun. Couple of them. Super Tux Cart made you a better person. All right, there you go. Been playing first-person shooters for the past decade. It's actually pretty funny. There's a CSI Cyber episode about people who play games that they can be that way. All right. If you want to blame someone, look at the dinner table. There's the person to blame. Oh, look across the dinner table? Well, here's the problem, Stephen. The problem is nobody's sitting at the dinner table anymore. If people just start sitting at the dinner table some more, a lot of these societal problems will go away. Like the kid that I play with, Black Ops with, I don't think they've missed dinner since the time he was born to now, of course, he's growing up and he works evenings now a lot. So that was it. And even then, the days that he doesn't go in too early, they still have a quick dinner before he goes to work. That's it. And that caused a kid to grow up who is an absolutely loving, absolutely caring person who is going to be a major contributor to society. Not a lunatic.
Completely agree. Completely agree with that.
So that's the problem. Like, you want somebody to blame, look across the dinner table. There's no one to look across the dinner table to. That's what's to blame. But yes, I get your point. Your point is, yes, your parents are the ones who are ultimately the most responsible early on. Now that Tom has a piece, I think of you being 9 out of 10 cool to 11 out of 10 mega cool. That's right, man. I got a Ruger LC9 and a High Point C9, which some people are like, oh, High Point C9, that's not a real gun. But I'll tell you what, that thing's got accuracy. That gun's like accurate 20 or 30 yards. I can hit a bullseye. Very accurate gun. Crappy, cheap, but very accurate. And that's what I need. The other one, not so accurate, but it fits in my pocket. I like it. Red flag laws, which scare me. Yes. Now, another good thing that not a lot of people are talking about, there was a grandmother who ended up stopping a shooting as well because she recognized some danger and actually had a relationship. I don't know where the kid's parents were, but he had enough relationship with his grandmother to say, this is what I'm thinking of doing. And the grandmother had the courage to turn it in. And the kid went in and he said, hey, you don't need a warrant. Go, here's my keys. Go search my hotel room. It was, and they went in and they found a lot of guns. They found a manifesto, all sorts of stuff. So at least there are people who are doing good in that way as well, How far down am I? Am I getting close yet? Or am I still a ways away?
I think you are. Yeah, but there's a lot going on.
Believe the world is flat. I know it's not because I'm a space alien and I've flown around it a few times in my spaceship.
But there's a study.
Uh-oh. Which study is this?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, somebody was asked on Steve's very own stream yesterday, right? Like, how do they explain gravity? Actually, they explain it by like the Earth. There's like a vacuum suction thing. That's actually how they explain it. You asked that question. Yeah. That's actually how they do it. They say, well, there's there's two theories. One of them is a pull down. The other one is that the Earth is actually moving super fast, like a bullet. So of course, like the way you couldn't jump off. That's how they explain gravity. That it's moving that fast. All in a one direction thing. That's actually how they explain it.
Well, why aren't I falling off the disc? Because I'm on the other side.
Because the Earth is flat.
Wait, but I should be. Am I not on? You're on that side. I'm on this side.
See, in the round Earth theory, I'm here. You're here. But in the flat Earth truth, it's like a pie. I'm here. You're here. Right, and the pie's shooting up through the air really fast. That's how it goes.
Then why is it so cold here? So many questions. I've got so many questions.
Why is it so cold? I think it's cold because like the sun rotates around like this, and right now it's on my end, and your end's not in the direct sunlight. So, yeah, okay. Hey, man. I like seeing divergent viewpoints, so I've watched some of their videos too.
This is making me feel so uncomfortable. I need to go. I need to go in the corner over there and cry.
Please do more reviews.
I need my safe space.
Alexander, I will definitely do more reviews on distributions. Now, Alexander, if you are new to my channel and if you're still watching, like once we get like Thursday-ish, the distributions fade away into like news and other topics, and then I'll go back and do some more distribution stuff later on. So yeah, so we will hit more distributions very soon. Maybe I'll try and get some up on Sunday. But yes, I will. In fact, I did a Linux Mint Mate yesterday. In fact, I'm just hit your Switch comment there. How long ago was that? If a kid attempts to sign up to a Blick site, clicking they're 18 plus older, are the parents, where are the parents? That's not their fault. Well, no, because you can put filters and blocks on these types of sites. You can do fun things like keep your kids off the internet. You can get an internet filter on your computer. There's a lot of things you can do. Let's see. Browse channel like 15 and found it interesting. My friend would go on just for the gore, though. Ew, that's not good. Kid attempts to sign up to a blank site. Isn't that just part of growing up, though? Well, some might argue. Far more stings than that online. Yeah. It's like we are going to get into a world where some guy is going to go into his teenager's bedroom. The kid's there watching some, he's got some good action going on the screen. His dad's going to be like, whoa, at least he's just on a porn site. But we are getting to that world.
I can see that as a meme.
Yeah. Could be worse. I could be watching the Democratic Socialist Party, I'll tell you, if you want to see something exciting, go watch that Democratic Socialist Party's videos. Wow. If you thought that this was all just something out there, one guy put together a best of 20-minute compilation. Oh, man. Steve always made it home for dinner, is instrumental in shaping who you are and what you value. Yeah, absolutely correct. That's right. I think that the gun law in California are ultra strict. Crime in California is off the charts. Also, municipalities, New York and Chicago can't get a gun. Yep. House crime in those cities. Pretty good. Yeah, actually, California now, I believe, you have to show ID now to buy ammo. You have to do a background check just to buy ammo now in California. Drive over to Nevada. It's pretty close. Oh, yeah. Every adult male in the Deep South and the West has multiple firearms. How's the crime in Wyoming? I live there. Almost none. We did have one interesting attack thing, though. Wyomingites know how to go out. He didn't go in with a gun. He went in with a Rambo knife and a crossbow, and his professor shot him. Boom! Yeah. We did have one accidental shooting in Wyoming because some stupid 18-year-old woman put a gun in her purse and dropped her purse. Firearm safety, people. Firearm safety.
I know it's a bit late now, but you might want to turn the gain down on your microphone a little bit.
Oh, did I? Well, that's too late.
I'll check with everyone else if that's the case. Yeah.
I might just be getting too close to it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. You should know by now. Screaming.
I keep on jumping back and forth with the microphones. I think the other one has better peak detection because it has a soundboard, but it's such a pain to set up. Love this. It's priceless. Awesome. They make a good argument, the flat earthers. No, they don't. They make about as good as an argument as a stoner watching The Matrix. What if it's all real, man? Do you have any thoughts on Endeavor OS? I do not. I have not looked at Endeavor yet. I'd say to the flat earthers, time zones. It's just the sun doing this. Come on. We got to catch up with the sun. What is it? Waiting for the sun.
Just make it up as you go along.
That's right. 16-year-old that shot a guy dead and injured another, about to abduct him and take him to those drug-filled Christian camps. His grandma and mother planned it to happen. Wait, let me read that again. 16-year-old that shot a guy dead and injured another that were about to abduct him and take him to one of those drug-filled Christian camps. What drug-filled Christian camps? Inquiring minds want to know. Never seen a drug-filled Christian camp. But if someone's trying to abduct you, I think that's kind of just cause, isn't it? You ever saw the link, but here you go. Oh, is that Idiocracy? Okay. Okay. Guy in my town got visited by the secret police just for saying the government is messed up. What country are you in? Whoa, I've actually hit the bottom of the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a kitty that keeps on coming up here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yay, we got a kitty. All right, buddy. We'll get you some feedings. Get you some good eatings. We are about out. I gotta hopefully remember to buy more Temptations, or we won't have enough for the news tomorrow. Oh boy, kitty. Oh, I don't even know if we'll have enough for tonight. Hey, buddy, right here. Hey, dummy, I got a whole one right here. There you go. How about one more? Oh no! All right, kitty. We're just gonna dump it out on the ground there, and we'll just watch you eat. Yummy yummies. Yummy yummies. That's it, kitties. It's all the Temptations I got. Get him. Yeah? Did you get them all? Did you get them all, buddy? Didn't you? I will try and remember to buy you more Temptations for tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Now he's licking my desk. My desk's going to be clean. The kitty's going to be like, yep, I'm going to clean this desk off. Yummy yummies. Right. Good dystopian one is Dark City. Camp let's talk about is ones far away from cities where you can only call your parents once a week. A judge gave him nothing as he didn't know. Yeah, it sounded like he was like self-defense-y type stuff. Yeah, there's like there's an old there's like the old cult conversion therapy, which you would basically go and abduct the cult member and then take him to a hotel room and basically get him out of the cult. Now, Steve Hassan, that happened to Steve Hassan, who ended up becoming a foremost cult expert. He was actually a pretty high level at the Moonies. He was abducted, taken to a hotel room, and deprogrammed. So it's kind of one of those types of things, which are actually illegal and should be, because you're basically being abducted. You're basically they are sending someone after you to abduct you. That is a crime. So, and I'm not a big fan of any of that. There's like the conversion therapy and the LGBT stuff too. I'm not into that specific stuff either. But we need to have, the freedom to have conversations and talk about what the Bible says if you're professing to be a Christian. All right. Speaking of which fun stuff. Oh no, where's it at? Let me get rid of you. We will be doing a live stream here in about 40 minutes on my other channel, and we're going to be talking about, can we walk with God alone? So you can jump on over to my other channel for that one, and that will start at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So any final words, Vince?
I'm thinking of everyone over there who's been affected by these shootings. When I heard the news, I was a certain part of me, you expect that sort of stuff to happen, but I just was thinking about everyone over there who's been affected by the shootings, despite the discussion that we had tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's leading to violence is never a good thing, and it's it doesn't matter what your viewpoints are. When your viewpoints get to the point where you want to do something like that, that's the point in time you got to go check yourself into a hospital. It doesn't solve anything. So, you know, all right. What is my other channel? My other channel is called Our Walking Christ. I actually have, I actually lay down 2 tracks for my writing channel as well yesterday. So I'll be editing those soon and working on some other things. So those are my other channel there. That's already posted over there, and we'll be live streaming there in about a half an hour. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will catch you later.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Waiting game. What's up, cat? All right, there we go.